Here's Mr. Houghton, my quite spectacular 5-year-old gelding. I'm feeling pretty obsessed with this horse. He is just incredibly nice, and he just gets nicer every ride. And it's hard to believe looking at him here that this is literally only his third post-track ride, which is just insane how talented he is and how easy he makes it. If I didn't already have a horse that I was keeping as my project horse this year, this would certainly be the one I would be picking right about now because he is just so darn cool. Today, actually, I hadn't really intended on just doing a flat ride in the ring today, but you got to be able to read the room sometimes. And what I write down in my planner is what I'm wanting to get done is not necessarily anywhere near what actually happens over the course of the day. And yesterday it was 80 degrees and humid, and it felt like a June day. And overnight we got these crazy storms and wind, and the temperature dropped like 25 degrees. And today's high was 55 degrees with 20-mile-an-hour wind, and I was riding him in this video at like 9 a.m. So it was probably like 45 degrees. So literally like 35 degrees colder than it was the day before and windy. So when we came out to the ring, it was obvious immediately that even though I wanted to go for a ride in the field today, that would definitely not be setting him up for success given the change in weather. And, of course, it just has every horse feeling pumped up when the weather changes that rapidly. So, but of course, the cool thing about him being more pumped up today is that, of course, he just moves spectacularly in the ring. So we just sort of changed plans, and I think I literally was on him for less than 15 minutes. It took me a couple of minutes he was pretty pumped up when I got on, and he sort of had some of his own ideas about what we should be doing, but it took me a couple minutes to get him contained. But once he clicked in, he was just incredible. And my mom was still out at the ring, and I was like, hang on, don't leave yet. He feels unbelievable. Let's take a quick flat video. So it was very quick, and it was really fun to ride. Honestly, I think this horse is just so cool. I think that he gets steadier and straighter and more connected in the contact every time I ride him. His neck a little bit too short, but I think that given, like there he just had a little spook. I don't remember what exactly. But given, the weather conditions and what was going on in the environment, it was kind of justified. Definitely not a day that I would be riding horses around on a loose rein working on stretching. Now, I'm hoping that tomorrow we're going to get out to the field. I'm leaving to spend 2 days in Virginia with Sunshine and Seven tomorrow doing some schooling, but I think I'm going to try and squeeze in a ride on him tomorrow before I leave to get out to the field. I think that by tomorrow he'll be completely acclimated to this new weather pattern that we're in. And actually, when this ride was over, I did cool him out by walking him out to the field, and we walked a couple of loops, and he was great. So by the end of this ride, he was totally ready. We could have gone out to the field, but that just would have been too much for one day. So we'll just come back to it tomorrow, and I think he'll be really excellent. So when we picked up the left lead canter, all of his transitions were all a bit animated today. That was just sort of the flavor of the day. So it took me, I don't know, a half the ring or 3/4 of the ring to sort of get him settled into his rhythm and into the connection in the left canter. But once he got to that sweet spot, he was lovely. I mean, this is a really nice picture here that he makes. So once he got there, he was happy to hold it. I thought he had a great balance, great rhythm. He always makes a beautiful shape. Then after he came out of that left canter, I mean, this was just some beautiful trot work he had here. Just such a nice swing from the hind end. He was really good about going through this puddle that we had here at the top of the ring. And that's also something I find when there are puddles in the ring and they're happy to go through the puddles. That's also something that gets them a little bit more animated moving. I thought that he just looked brilliant. And then here, this trot work to the right with the change of direction. The first time we changed direction in the video, I was still talking about something else, but I sort of I lost the straightness coming out of the corner across the diagonal, so I sort of fumbled that whole first change of direction. But that one he did there was much more consistent and straighter. I was much happier with that one. I thought this was lovely here in the trot work. I asked him to canter. I think both times I asked him, wee, so exciting. Both times I asked him to canter for the first time each direction. We picked up the incorrect lead. And so then to the right, I thought I would just sort of cheat a little bit and pop over those poles. And God, the horse just is such a good jumper. He was just so pleased with himself to have a nice big jump over the poles, but landed in a great right lead canter. Took me maybe the long side to settle him back down after a little bit of excitement going over the poles. But again, I mean, once you set him in that balance that you want, he is so easy to stay there, and he's so light and soft. Super nice in his frame there. So straight through his outside shoulder going by that gate today. I think we're really over that baby nonsense. Super nice canter through the puddle. I think I like going through the puddle because it's almost like riding to a jump. It has that same sort of flavor about it. And then such a nice right trot after we come out of the canter. Such a nice flow. I mean, the horse is incredible. So, not what I had thought we were going to do today, but I was pretty darn happy with him.